Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. IndyCar has had a wild start to the 2021 season, but someone who is standing tall is Scott McLaughlin. After a big move from Australian V8s to the American single-seaters, you'd expect the New Zealander to need some time to get settled in. Well, McLaughlin don't need no time, he's doing just fine. So let's take a look at his start to the year. If you enjoy this video, there are plenty of others on the channel, so take a look and maybe subscribe. And with that, let's begin.
Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
So, for those of you who don't know, who is Scott McLaughlin? Well, the New Zealand racing star rose to fame in the Australian world of V8 supercars, taking his first win in just his 9th race, with Garry Rogers Motorsport in a Holden in 2013. How I remember him is driving the Garry Rogers Volvo, where he would take 6 wins over 3 years and finish 3rd in the championship. He would then join the Penske Dick Johnson racing team in a Ford, and after finishing runner-up in the championship in 2017, would then take 3 titles on the bounce from 2018 to 2020, taking 40 wins in 86 races, including the 2019 Bathurst 1000. He obviously impressed Penske because they gave him a run with their IndyCar team at Sebring, as well as an oval test in Texas. In fact, he impressed so much the bosses at Penske wanted to run him at the Grand Prix of Indianapolis, but then COVID happened and Scott McLaughlin was stuck at home with everyone else, forced to sit around all day in his PJs playing video games. But when normality began to return, sort of, Scott McLaughlin was finally able to make his IndyCar debut in the final round of the 2020 championship in St. Petersburg. The night before the race, Scott McLaughlin announced that he had signed a multi-year deal with Penske, signalling an end to his very successful V8 supercars career. In fact, Penske announced an end to their relationship with the Dick Johnson racing team, and having also taken the 3-time champion Scott McLaughlin, left a massive hole in the Australian racing scene, whilst also showing that the V8 supercars can be a link to further your racing career, with IndyCar at least an option. Who knows, maybe Van Gisbergen can get that Formula 1 drive. McLaughlin's first race wasn't a great success. He qualified 21st out of 24 and crashed out mid-race after contact with Marco Andretti. He returned to the grid for a full campaign in 2021. Team Penske had an impressive lineup of drivers, with 3 former champions in Will Power, Simon Pagenaud and Joseph Newgarden. It's going to be pretty difficult to match up to those impressive talents, but the other rookies on the grid are equally challenging. Former Formula 1 driver Romain Grosjean and 7-time NASCAR Cup winner Jimmie Johnson. McLaughlin and Grosjean were fairly evenly matched over the first 2 races, whilst Jimmy spun around at the back of the field. But McLaughlin did escape a first lap incident at the opening round in Alabama and got a decent 11th place in St. Petersburg. But it was his debut at the ovals that impressed so much. His first run on an oval was in Texas, and the rain-interrupted qualifying meant that the grid was decided by championship position, meaning McLaughlin started 15th. But he worked his way up the field, avoided any incidents including scary crashes for Sebastian Bourdais and James Hinchcliffe, 2 drivers you really don't want to see having big crashes. But Scott McLaughlin got his first IndyCar podium, coming home in 2nd behind his idol Scott Dixon. A massive result, especially when you consider it's just his 4th single-seater race since his time in Formula 4 New Zealand, and his first ever time taking part in an oval race. Considering neither Romain Grosjean or Jimmie Johnson are taking part in the oval races, this gives McLaughlin a huge boost in his chase for Rookie of the Year, as well as an 8th place in the 2nd Texas race, meaning McLaughlin is currently 8th in the championship. Not bad at all. There's a long way to go in 2021 IndyCar Championship, but Scott McLaughlin has done better than I ever thought he could. I wasn't expecting anything super, but you can't argue with a podium. It's difficult moving over from a completely different racing series. Just ask Jimmie Johnson, who's clearly struggling with the transition more than McLaughlin is. Grosjean is more of a match, and we can expect some good battles between the 2 going forward. I don't think McLaughlin will keep up with his more experienced teammates as the year progresses, but I am excited to see what he can do at the Indy 500. He's taken to oval racing like a duck takes to water. I think a win by the end of the year might not be a stretch for McLaughlin. I think a lot of pressure was on Scott McLaughlin's shoulders. Not only moving to a different discipline and not embarrassing himself, But he also has the pride of every driver who has ever raced in the V8 supercars on the line. If he had failed, then he would be returning to Australia in disgrace, probably moving to a mid-table team trying to relive his former glory days. So the fact that it's going well is a massive positive. He'll be returning to the V8 supercars before the year is out. He's going to partner one of the Dick Johnson racing drivers at the Bathurst 1000. Can he be the first driver to win the Indy 500 and the Bathurst 1000 in the same year? We can call it the 1500 crown. I'm sure the odds on that are 2 million to 1 at least, but I'm happy he hasn't cut ties with the Australian series completely, especially as Dick Johnson Racing could have massive beef with the guy considering they lost him and Penske in one fell swoop. How far can Scott McLaughlin go in 2021? Honestly, the sky's the limit. So what do you think of Scott McLaughlin's start to his IndyCar career? How far do you think he'll go in the series? I honestly believe that a top 10 finish in the final standings is a possibility. Rookie of the Year is almost definitely on the cards, maybe even the Bathurst 1000, although that would mean beating Shane van Gisbergen, who, as we have already established, is the best driver of 2021 so far. So leave a comment, share and like the video. Check back for more content soon, remember to subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a good one.